Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Bling Bling Jam brand new YouTube station. Today, I have no other than Glenda Howell from Florida, who is a blinger. And I wanted to introduce her to you. For folks that know her, I want you to get to know her better. And folks that don't know her, well, you sure will at the end of this interview. So, with that said, I Glenda, let everybody know who you are, where you're from, when you got started in balloons, and anything else you want to add to it. Your name of your company. Take it away.
Thanks, Steve.
You're
I
welcome.
just start off, I would love to thank you because you are the very first convention I ever went to. It was
Oh,
your second
you're
convention,
welcome.
and I had broken my arm in March, and my laying on the asphalt thinking, I'm not going to be able to go to the balloon convention. And the doctor said, go. I called you. I couldn't get a room. You said, I've got someone. You hooked me up with Grandma V, and the rest is history. So,
I think I told you were going.
yeah, I think so. I was all sad because the hotel had just told me they didn't have a room.
Right.
And my partner had said, well, it's just not supposed to be.
Meant to
You're
be.
just not supposed to go.
Yeah.
And then I came back in and I said, he has somebody that needs a roommate. I'm going. And
Right.
like I said, Grandma V, she was great. I had just been twisting probably 3 months
Right.
before I broke my arm. And for 4 days, she did not let me sleep. She taught me everything she knew. And
He
you
loves
couldn't get
you.
you couldn't get in our room. The balloons were to the ceiling in there
Oh,
because
wow.
it was crazy good. But I thank you for that, and
Oh,
I've told you many times that was a great start for me. So I came out of your convention an expert, I thought.
yeah.
I took Nick the Balloonatics class, and
Yes.
he taught you how not to be taken advantage of by people that book you to do other events, and how they'll
Right.
use you and abuse you.
Yes.
And it was a great learning experience. I came out of there and I felt I had my feet under my uh, on the ground and ready to go. And I did.
Yeah.
I took off. I was worked for a children's train. I had retired early from writing software.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Tell us about that.
yeah, I wrote software for
Wow.
digital imaging software, and I hated it.
Oh, wow.
But it was a good paycheck.
Of course.
And so we did it. And then I had two grandchildren, and they'd gotten up in age where I didn't have to take them to the movies or Disney and things like that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to retire.
Yeah.
Uh, and my children said, Mom, you're too young to retire.
Right.
And I said, watch me. And so I went from two to six grandchildren pretty quick. And then they said, watch us. So I said, okay, I'm going
Oh,
back to work.
gosh. Oh, gosh. Wow.
So I said, but I'm going to do something fun. And so I
Mhm.
started working for a children's train, driving it around the mall.
Oh,
So I
literally a
could,
train. I didn't
uh,
understand that.
yeah, a little,
Wow.
it was, yeah, a trackless train. And
Is that all? Was that all year round or?
yes, well, I'm in Florida. So
Right.
we're Sunshine State.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it was outside at the town center. If you're familiar with Jacksonville, it's one of those
Never
large,
been there.
yeah. And so anyway, I ended up traveling around the country opening trains for him. Was in Boston.
Oh,
We
wow.
had one in Liberty Tree Mall.
Oh, yeah. I know what that is.
Yeah, and
I've done balloons there.
yeah, Gurney Mills in Chicago,
Yeah.
all over the country. But
Oh,
we were in
wow.
Memphis, Tennessee, and he said, Glenda, learn to make animal balloons. You'll make a lot of tips.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So I came home and I told Debbie, I said, on order me a bag of balloons, a pump, and a book. I'm
Uh-huh.
going to learn to make animal balloons.
Yeah.
And if you know me, I'm kind of a messy person. And she's like, great, something else for you to make a mess with.
Oh, that's
And
funny.
so I said, well, whatever, I'm going to do it anyway. So she did. And of
Yeah.
course, I went to the train, and kids love balloons. They weren't very good, but they didn't care.
Right.
And I was really amazed at the response. So I'm
Mhm.
like, okay. Then someone came up to me and said, there's a career in that. I'm like, nah, just make them for tips. It's no big deal. And they told me how much a balloon artist in this area made. And I went, wait, I need more balloons.
Yeah.
I'm in. And the rest is history. And
Wow.
I just built it from there. Uh, and here I am 9 years later.
Wow. Yeah, so because the second year was the wedding year of Debbie and Donald.
Yes.
So that was
Mhm.
2015. So we're going on 10 years.
Right. Yep.
Wow. That feels, and
Yep.
that story feels like yesterday.
I
You know,
know, right?
yeah, that's wild. Wow.
Oh, the
So
grandkids loved it. Their schools loved it. They're
yeah,
like, yeah,
of course. So as you know, Bling Bling Jam's always been a deco twisting event, although everybody doesn't realize that unless they've been.
right,
And of course, the year you came, it was really deco twisting the second
right.
with the wedding and all that. And what do you focus on now? I know you got, and I don't know if you care to share, but I know you work
Oh, sure.
have an event at a Sheraton or something. I forget what it is.
The
Sometimes the
Ritz-Carlton.
Ritz-Carlton, sorry. Sorry, the Ritz-Carlton. And I don't know what you do there, if it's decor or what you do, and I don't know if you consider yourself a deco twister. I think you do.
I
Um,
do.
yeah, perfect. Tell us what your focus is now, like, or how it started, and then or what your focus is now, what markets or and what we don't even know what's your business name.
Glenda's Balloons.
Oh, that's simple. I love it.
Yeah, it's easy peasy.
Yes.
My
Was that the t-shirt you're wearing?
Instagram has two S's because I can't remember the password for one S.
Oh, that's
So
funny.
yeah, it's
Right.
the truth. It's the truth, Steve.
Right.
But
That's okay.
I started out as a twister. And then,
Okay.
of course, because going to Bling Bling, I went, in those early years when I wasn't extremely busy, I came every year.
Yeah, of course.
And Jan Imes had a class, and she said, you
Yeah.
can be a twister, or you can be a stacker, or you can be a twacker, which is
Right.
a twister and a stacker, which is,
Right.
so I'm like, okay, I'm game. I'll give it a shot. So at the Ritz-Carlton,
Hmm.
uh, there was a young man, and he was, I called him the artist and I was the brush. He would tell me these ideas that he would have,
Hmm.
and I would just turn them into the balloon world. And we just got along fabulously, and I did a lot of decor for him. And that's how I got my start with decor. And then he left and went to the JW Marriott in Orlando, and I miss him terribly.
Aw,
But he's happy there. His
sure,
parents live in Orlando, so he's happier there.
sure.
But I sure miss him. But
Right.
I do a lot of decor for Chick-fil-A. We have a
Oh yeah.
large construction group here called WW Gay. I do
Okay.
a lot of decor for them. Um,
Okay.
I basically word of mouth. If you
Hmm.
don't know how to get a hold of me, you're not going to get me.
Yeah.
I do Northwestern Mutual here in Jacksonville. They're
Okay.
one of my better customers. I've just been blessed that word of mouth has gotten me very
The
far in this
best way.
industry.
And you're definitely personable, so that's good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Wow. Okay, so that's a little bit of everything.
Yep.
So word of mouth, but you go after anything, or does it all come to you?
Um, as far as the gigs that I
What?
get or what I
Well,
make,
well, that's a funny question because word of mouth, I already get you're a networker, okay?
right?
What I mean is, do you actually focus on a certain area and try to like make calls or whatever, or like if you want to get into a certain market, let's say, or just by the word of mouth and follow up with them, and that's okay too.
Well, it's funny because in my younger years, before I wrote software, I was an outside sales rep. So
Really?
I have a finger in the corporate world.
Right.
So people that I think have been in this industry and haven't been in the corporate world, they're
They're
like
missing it. Yep.
they're missing it
Yep.
because
Completely.
like when I do a corporate event, I don't expect to have a check
Exactly.
when I walk away.
Right.
A corporation's you're gonna send them an invoice.
Yes.
They're gonna put it through their process and they're gonna pay you.
Hmm.
The money's in the bank, but
Yes.
you're not gonna walk away with the check. And
Exactly.
and people that demand that,
Yeah.
um, they're losing. I feel.
Yeah.
because my corporate accounts, I give them 30 days easy, sometimes 60.
And they have a lot of money.
They have a lot of money
A
and
lot of
but
money.
they have a process. They have a
Yeah.
process to do. So they like to deal with me. So
Mm.
they will hire whatever they need, whether it's a face painter,
Mm-hmm.
a balloon artist, whatever they need, because they know I'm going to give them an invoice. They're going to pay it and we're all good. They don't have
Right.
to worry about run to accounting, make sure you have a check ready. I do Mayo here, their big family event.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, they were all freaking out when the first year I did it because they're like, we can't give you a check right away. I'm like, it's okay. I
Right.
deal with the corporate world. I
Right.
know this. So then they're like, oh, okay. So I've dealt with them every year since.
Sure.
So, but in a business sense,
Yeah.
uh, that's
And they're good for it. They don't want to be sued. They already know it's an agreement.
right. And you don't
They're
have
good
to
for it.
chase it. You
Right.
don't have to chase it. It's going to be in the mail.
Right.
You know, I have
Good
had
point.
checks lost,
Mm-hmm.
literally where they've had to be redone because we have a terrible mailman.
Yeah.
But then after a certain amount of time, call accounting and they're like, "Oh, that was mailed out. Let me put a stop payment on it, and I'll get another one out to you."
Right.
So I think being a lot of the balloon artists that I know, they live from that check to check to check.
Yes.
And that's I think you need to teach a class on
I'm
that.
Well, we don't learn in school or anything else how to handle our own checkbook, right? And our bills and all that. And that's always the issue too. And a lot of artists, you know, don't think about that stuff. It's true.
Right, right.
So you're in business. So
But I've been very successful.
yeah.
I thank you profusely. Part of
Oh,
that, I had to
you're welcome.
miss a lot of blings because that's a crazy week
Of
for me.
course. Of course.
And
But now we move the dates.
yeah, yeah, and I'm back.
Yes.
And
We're
so
happy to
it's
have you
bling is
back.
always fun. Yeah, it's always fun to hang out. I brought someone with me this
Yeah.
year,
Yeah.
Rebecca Myers, and she fit
Yes.
right in.
She did.
Um,
I hope to interview
yes,
her too. Tell
yes, I
her.
will tell her. And she's a fabulous face painter.
Yeah. She was telling me
That's
that.
yeah. So she really, really is, and quick. Her and Whitney Myers are just like
Excellent.
amazing. Yeah. So, but
Yeah, no, that's good stuff. But Glenda, I want to circle back to,
okay.
and that's all good stuff. So, with your background of, you have different backgrounds. It sounds like this corporate, and then also you're an engineer, whatever it is. It's great. But did you get on the phone to get any of these? Like, for example, the hotel you have. Did they find you? You found them?
They that's an interest. That's another. There's so many interesting stories here.
Of course.
Remember, I worked for the children's train when
Yes.
when I first started, and the store next to me was J. Crew,
Oh yeah.
and the manager of the J. Crew. There was a little hot dog stand by the train, and
Right.
she would come out and have hot dogs, and we became friends before I ever touched a balloon.
Sure.
And then when I started doing balloons, she was enthralled with them.
Right.
And so when I would make something new, I would
Right.
leave it on her desk. And when she would come in, she would find whether it be a fancy dog, a penguin, or whatever what I called the
Yeah.
balloon of the day. So when I first started, that's what I would do, the balloon of the day. Like today, I'm going to
Right.
learn to do a penguin. So I made penguins all day. And the
Right.
kids would come to the train, not to ride
Mhm.
the train, but to see what the balloon of the day was. They would drive their parents. We want to see what the balloon of the day is. We want to see what.
Right.
So anyway, one day she wasn't there. She wasn't at J. Crew anymore,
Right.
and so I was like, oh man, we were all worried about her. So in some time passed, and I went to Bling Bling, and um, uh, one of the face painters said to me, "Would you come and do Memorial Weekend with me at the Ritz Carlton?" And I said, "Absolutely."
Sure.
And so that was my first experience there. And as I'm twisting, uh, I hear her voice. She has brought the manager out. She heard that I was there, she went and got the manager of the Ritz-Carlton, and I could hear her talking to him like, isn't she just amazing? She taught herself how to make
Yeah.
balloons. And that when the recreation gentleman came out for, when we were finished, and she was booking for the 4th of July, he
Yeah.
looked over at me and he said, I want her.
Yeah.
And she looked at him and he's like, well, she knows Nayla. And I've been there ever since. And
Oh, wow.
so just, you never know who you're going to run into and who's who.
You really don't. That's an amazing story, Glenda. And the truth is, um, okay, so you had a corporate sales background, right? And I've done sales too, but it's who you are too.
Right.
And people don't understand that you had a previous relationship with this lady, and I'm sure as you're genuine, it came through because you are genuine, right? And you didn't know that's what was going to happen. And what you just said is so true about you never know who somebody knows. Like, be nice to everybody. It's funny. I know you didn't meet him this year. He was supposed to come. Mickey Silver, who's a good friend of mine. He's the human slot machine. He's a magician from Boston, lives in Vegas now. And he's similar to you and I in terms of that. And he says that all the time. It's like you just never know. And even like amongst artists, because sometimes people don't want to share that they don't live a life of abundance. They don't understand that you just don't know with stuff, and it's always going to be nice anyway. Not that you're looking for something, but that's not the point. But the point is you're being who you are, and that's why people want to do business with you. So that's awesome story.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that. I
Thank
love
you.
that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about the Ritz-Carlton is people, I have people like from the DC area, or
Boston.
yeah,
You
and
told me?
Boston. I've sent to, yeah.
Yeah.
When they come up to me, I always say, "Where are you from?"
Yeah.
And if they say Boston, I say, "I have a good friend named Steve,"
Right.
and I'll give them your number.
Right.
Washington, I'll give them Jenny Henry. You
Sure.
know, depending on where they are, if I know someone, and
Yeah.
Nick, I tell tons of people about Nick the
Right.
Balloonist,
Yes.
because we have a lot of people from New York that come, uh,
Yes.
and but the same families come year after year, and you build that relationship with them, even though they live far away.
Right.
And I was at the Ritz here not too long ago, and the father walked by and he goes, you're here," and he grabs his phone and he calls his kids and he's like, she's here. So it just makes you feel good that people respond to your balloons. It's a language all its own. So, and
For
I don't
sure.
use a menu.
Right.
I make them whatever they want. I have the advantage of it being the Ritz-Carlton.
Mm-hmm.
And their whole theory is make the clients happy. And
I love that.
that's what I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I love that. Okay. So that's an interesting story. So going back to my question, and you obviously an incredible networker, which is how this all happened, right? And it's just you. It's you being you, which I operate the same way. So you probably didn't have to go after a certain area. It kind of came to you. Is that what you're saying in terms of like a focus in terms of like corporate or doing hotels or doing, the Chick-fil-A's or whatever it might be?
one thing leads to another. I also
Yeah.
work with a couple of companies, local companies here that treat us very well. They
Okay.
book us for
Oh,
events.
you mean like event planners?
Well, they're not really like Rebecca. Rebecca has a company that she works for called Artsy Faces,
Okay.
and she will book me to do a library show.
Sure.
I do the library shows through Artsy Faces.
Okay.
She also books me to do the Jumbo Shrimp, which is the AAA baseball
Jumbo
team.
shrimp, you said?
Jumbo Shrimp.
Okay. I like that name.
It's the AAA affiliate for the I think the Miami Marlins, but don't hold me to that.
Sure.
But and then there's a amazing face painting by Linda, and she'll book me to do different events, and that gives me some exposure. Uh,
Exactly.
and then people say, "Well, I saw you here, I saw you there, I saw you other
Right.
places," So, um,
Sure.
and then of course I wear my shirt
Yes.
everywhere I go, Glenda's Balloons,
Yes.
and
The branding.
people, yeah,
Yes.
my branding, yeah, I have a good friend here that makes all my shirts for me, and
Sure.
I she helps me. She's actually stepped in and helped me, and I went to Float, which
Uh-huh.
is a huge decor,
Yes.
and and decided to expand the decor side of the business. Um, and her husband have been instrumental in helping me do that.
Awesome.
Shauna and Tally, yeah.
Sure.
He can make props like you can't believe.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
yeah, so it's really helped the decor side of the business.
Sure, sure. Do you think that your twisting and decor is 50-50 of your business right now, or do you think what would you say?
That's hard to say. Well, the Rich just booked all the holidays, so it's going to be heavier twisting right now for sure
Yeah,
because I November December 9th, I'm not even gonna know my name. That's the crazy twisting, crazy decor
yeah,
um combination date coming up. You know, you
okay.
have those dates that you just want to pull your hair out.
Yeah,
That's gonna be one of them.
yeah, I understand. It happens. Yeah,
Yeah, if
yeah.
you'd have told me I would be doing this at almost 71, Steve, I would say
Are you 70, almost 71? Wow. You look
7
great.
thanks. I would tell you I would be fishing, but
But you're having a good time
I'm having a great time.
and getting paid.
I can spoil
Right?
the whole thing is I wanted
Yeah.
to spoil the grandbabies, and it
Yeah.
definitely gives me that avenue. I just got back from Dallas spoiling my 31-year-old granddaughter. So
Aw.
yeah, never get too
Um,
old to be spoiled, right?
no, not at all. Oh, I love that. That is so cool. So the stuff at the Ritz is all twisting events like for the holidays, pretty much is what you're saying. You don't do any decor there?
Not since Brandon has moved to JW.
Who's Brandon?
He was the recreation
Oh,
that he was the artist. I
oh,
was
I
the
see.
Now they
Okay.
closed their event part of the Ritz, and
Yeah,
it's all they have other companies come in and do the production.
got it.
So I don't do decor for them. I haven't done well, I would take that back. When they are going to do their surveys and
Yeah.
different things, I decorate for them because they say balloons make you happy. So
Yes.
I do that for them. But as
Oh,
far
very
as
nice.
like I used to do for other events that they would do, like the for the lighting of the Christmas tree. I used to do the decor for that.
Sure.
That was one of my first large decor jobs that got me to buy the Mac Daddy Legenda.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You're funny. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's great. Okay. Is there any area that are you content? You might be content that you would love to learn about a certain area of twisting or decor that you could focus on or that you haven't conquered yet, you've been curious about, or that you want to expand upon?
Well, it's so funny, Steve. Whenever even I go to convention, I'll even take a beginner class
Yeah.
because that there's always something you've either forgotten
Yeah.
or you're going to pick up.
Or a reminder. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's that I
Mm.
love this year. I love those class. I can't wait for the videos to come out
Yeah. Yeah.
because that sea turtle that Pip did.
All the stuff that she did is out. So that's all that stuff.
How do I get to it?
Yeah, so it's in a private Facebook group called the Bling Bling Jam 2024. If people are registered or still want to register, they have access. It's not a digital download, it's just a replay. And
Okay.
she did that beforehand, and that's in there. So if you're not in there, just message
Can you
me.
send me a link to it?
Yeah,
Or
I will.
okay, I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. During COVID,
Yeah,
just want to touch on that real quick. It was such a hard time for everyone. Yeah, and I do a lot of daycare. Shauna, um, when I first started, she got me doing daycares, and that's Jenny taught me
oh,
bubbles
nice.
and
Shauna Flanagan.
pardon?
Shauna Flanagan.
No, 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 Shauna Boat right here in
Oh, I
Jacksonville.
don't know her.
She was a director. I think she's gonna come this year with me to Bling.
Oh, awesome.
Um, uh, but she was a director of a daycare,
Oh,
and
really?
yeah, and she got me into the daycare business, and to not only to do balloons, but to do, 'cause I do balloons, but to do, 'cause I do balloons, but to do, 'cause I do balloons, but to 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 do balloons, but bubbles, whatever
Wow.
to entertain the daycare children in the summer because they have to have these field trips,
Yes.
different things to entertain them. And so that's was a huge part of my business and that just kind of spread like wildfires. Once one daycare
Yeah.
gets you, it's just like bling 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 bling.
Yes. Exactly. I love it. I
Yeah,
love it. Oh, that she does balloons too?
I've taught her to do bling.
Oh,
She
wonderful.
also does the airbrush, but
Oh, nice.
yeah, convinced her to do balloons. There's such a need in this area for a competent balloon artist.
Wow.
So we have a couple, but
Yes,
there's a lot of business out here. So
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it blows my mind. People say that there's no business. I'm like, there's business everywhere, balloons.
right, right,
Yeah.
right,
Sometimes life gets in the way, you know what I'm saying? And you
right,
have to do
right,
what you have
right.
to do. Like a few people tell me a few things. I'm like, I just went through a few things in my personal life, but it's all good. But yeah, I love it. That's awesome. That's awesome.
And I have two grandchildren in
Yeah.
Germany. So I go over
Wow.
there. Yeah, I go over there, spend a month at a time usually in
Right.
the winter months when things are slow.
Yeah.
And balloons are an international language. I
Yes.
buy balloons with me, and German children love them just as much as American
Oh, I
children.
can't imagine.
So,
Wow.
yeah, it's a lot of fun, and
Do they do
I
balloons
feel
too?
blessed that I found this industry, and it's
Yes.
part of the balloon family. And Grandma V took me under her wing early on,
She's
and
amazing.
yes, so and
But
Diane Cross has become a really good
yes,
friend.
she's a sweetheart.
Yes. I mean, they're just and Pip. I was gonna say when I did the daycares during COVID,
Yeah.
um, so I couldn't go to them because of COVID. So I did videos
Zoom?
for I
Oh,
did
cool.
the Facebook videos and some YouTube videos. And so I got this moniker that I always end my videos with: be kind,
Yes.
wash your hands,
Yes.
and never put a balloon in your mouth.
Yeah. Ain't no kidding.
And so that's if I make a video and I forget to say that, my peeps always say, "You forgot to say wash your hands," or "You
Yeah.
forgot to say." So I try to always remember to say all those things.
Right.
And
I love
I
that.
try to following from the kids. The kids really, because they didn't have a lot of interaction during COVID, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, for sure. For sure. We all had to reinvent ourselves at that point in time too, you know.
Right,
That's
right.
great. That's great. Wow, very cool. Was there anything we forgot to talk about your balloon career that you wanted to share with people watching this video?
I just love all you guys. There's so many people that's taught me so many things. Billy Damon. I mean, I don't have enough time to mention all. I think I've mentioned Nick, uh, Jenny, um,
Yes.
Diane Cross, Grandma V.
Yes.
You know, um, on and on and on. I've gone to several conventions. I have one in my backyard that I don't go to.
Okay.
We won't talk about that, but I have gone to it in the past. But if you want to learn, the best thing to do is to be around people that love the things you love. And it's a very giving community. If you want to get in it, you just find someone and let them know, and they'll go to the ends of the earth to help you.
Yes, for sure, for sure. What I try to say all conventions are great, but Blooming is just that much better. That's what I
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. Like I said, I definitely love your convention.
Well, we love you, so thank you. Okay, so let's talk about that. Let everybody know in your own words, and you were kind of already said what you think about Bling, why you think people should come, I guess, and we'll uh we'll wrap it up.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's a family.
Yeah,
There's they check their what's that? Everybody's like on the same level. There's nobody that thinks they're better than somebody else.
right.
We're all, I mean, just down to earth people. and you can approach anyone and you can ask anyone any question. Cody Williams. Cody Williams was huge
Yeah.
uh, in my early days, and I met him at my first bling. He came by
Yeah.
the restaurant when we were eating,
Mm-hmm.
and I watched his videos in those early days, so he was like a superstar.
Sure.
And I just appreciate everyone, and your teachers are always great. Pip, I love her, and Natalie,
Yes.
Tony Twist,
Yes.
um, you know, uh, like the list. We could be here all night. The list goes on
Yes.
and on.
Yes.
So,
And
but
this year we had
Florida's,
new people like Darren had never been, Aaron Mortaboy, and
his classes were amazing.
yep.
And I will
And
say
Mary.
some conventions I have been to, you never see the people. They go up to their room and they're
Yeah.
making their competition pieces, and I'm not going to say any names,
Sure.
but a lot of people do not check their personalities at the door. If
Right.
you're not somebody, they don't speak to you, and
Right.
you don't get the warm fuzzies. Uh,
Right.
that may not be the right word, but at Bling
Well,
Bling, everybody's just
yeah.
good.
Well, we appreciate that. Circling back, and the people watching this, the people that go to Bling get this too. And thank you for saying that. You know, um, we love everybody, right? Uh, I try to. It's not always easy. But with that said, it's a reflection of the right people being around each other, right? Just like how you operate your business, and that woman, that story you drove on the train before you did Bling, you were just friends. And because you were generally her friend, you have business. And
Right,
sometimes people come in with the wrong attitude, and that's on them. Okay. And that's just who they are. Or they just, I don't want to change people. It is what it
right,
is. And they
right.
wonder why they don't have a business. They don't have people wanting them to teach. So you're not approachable. So thank you for that. And you are such an inspiration too to all of us as well, because you've done really well, Glenda. And we're very
Thank
proud
you.
of you. And you definitely live the life of abundance that we talk about at Bling, and it shows. So I think that's the way to say it. If it's okay for me to add that to it,
That's awesome. That's
So
awesome.
yeah, that's how I see it.
Yes.
So that's great.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Thanks for putting on the convention. Thanks for
Oh,
introducing me to Grandma V.
you're so
Uh,
welcome. Thank you for being
yes,
you. I'm glad that worked out, because I didn't know for sure, but I had a feeling you guys would that was great. Like I said, that feels like yesterday. It's amazing. I'm so glad you guys
right.
became good friends. That's great. That's great. Was there any last comments? Did we forget anything? Anything else you want anybody to know?
I don't know. Like I was saying earlier to you, you and I could just have a conversation for hours and
Yeah,
just
it's
go on and
true.
on.
It's
But
true.
we'd probably bore everybody to death. So
I don't know about that. It's all interesting. And Glenda, we can do this again. So on here, there'll be different other times where I'll interview people in the future. Who knows? Maybe you might teach at a convention. You don't know, and then we'll do another interview. I don't know. And again, I keep everybody open to that. And you just don't know. There might be another reason to have an interview. So it's not the last interview we're going to have. They're going to hear even more about you.
okay, sounds great, Steve.
Definitely. Thank you so much, everybody, and thank you, Glenda, for your time on the interview. And if you guys are watching this, this is going to air on Monday. And please show Glenda some love and put some likes and some comments. She'll respond. It's going to air at 1 o'clock p.m. East Coast time this Monday. And guess what? It's time to bling it on, everybody. So over
Re-
and out.
Remember, be
Yeah,
kind, wash your hands, and never put a balloon in your mouth.
that's
See you
right.
soon.
That's right. Thanks so much, Glenda. Have a good
Uh-huh.
night.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.